Barenaked, 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 ABCs.
Welcome to the Barenaked ABC.
Hope no one's allergic to bees. Attack of the Killer Bees.
Where we discuss
Whoa!
What?
Nothing. Are you feeling a little blue today?
Tracy,
Oh God.
are you gonna? Yeah, you
haunt
look
my
like
dreams.
an Oompa Loompa.
You look like a disaster. A blue disaster.
What? I'm trying a new look. You don't like it?
You're transitioning.
Oh.
I support you in your blue hair. Yeah.
Well, at least it's new. It's a new disaster.
Oh, I see what you did there. You know what?
Mine was better.
Golf clap.
Welcome to the Barenaked ABCs, where we discuss every single Barenaked Ladies song from 7 to Y. And tonight, as you have already picked up on, we are discussing the song New Disaster from Detour DeForce. If you have never heard this song before, here is a quick snippet.
Here comes a new disaster. Here comes the end of days. Next up, the sweet hereafter. We'll tell you all about it after this commercial break. Stay tuned for scary monsters. Watch out for rising tides. But first, a word from sponsors. Might be a mess, but it's a hell of a good time.
And so this was written by Ed Robertson and Kevin Griffin of Better Than Ezra.
Okay.
Same as last week's discussion. But I think that this week's discussion's gonna be different. Let's see. So I do want to bring up that there was some discussion on when they did their track by track online about this song, and so Ed said that this song unseated How Long as the 10-year champion for Lyle as his favorite BNL song.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't want to tell other people how to believe and how what their taste should be, but
I don't like that
Thank-
setup.
goodness that this unseated How Long as the 10-year champion.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I rated How Long.
It was so long ago that we talked about it.
How long was it? It's been at least 1 week.
Boo.
Boo, hiss.
Well, you gave How Long a 2.4, or no, you gave it a 3.76.
Okay.
You were the highest on
okay,
that, though,
I think I
because
remember
I gave it a 2. Betsy gave it a
It was not
2.7.
well received, is what you're saying.
It was not a
Overall.
well-received song.
On the whole.
On the whole, I knew you were going there. Nah.
They said that this took a long time to get right. They said it might be
How
the
long?
most takes
Long.
ever
A long time.
for a BNL song.
So when did they
Nicely done. Nice.
start writing this then? Do you know?
I don't know. I think so. They wrote this, I think, just before this. I think it just took them a long time to record.
Probably 2016. I'm guessing.
I don't think so. I'm guessing that it was probably closer to 2020.
Well, I'm just sad that we didn't
In hindsight,
release this episode earlier, because then we could have said, "May the Detour DeForce be with you."
Nah.
Ed said that Kevin's melodic guitar lines really brought it to life. That's what it was missing at first. And Kevin says that he was going with a real Joy Division, New Order, 80s guitar vibe.
That must be why I
I
like this
see.
song so much. This was a pleasant surprise. I really kind of dug this one. Tipping my hand.
And Jim also said that he really liked playing the bass on this because he felt like he was playing like Peter Hook from Joy Division.
It reminds me of something else, but I won't jump the gun here.
I'm curious.
Oh, I am curious now. And then Tyler gave a shout out for Eric Ratz, or Ratsy, I don't know how he pronounces it, for his production on this because they did not have the usual person producing this album and doing the mixing. So they went with someone new this time. Not sure why. But let's talk a little bit. They said it was melancholic and melodious, but I don't know if I would go with melancholic, but let's see what you guys think. Let's talk about the musical.
Melodious
malodorous.
is much better than melodorous. Yeah, you knew where I was going with that.
Aaron, would you like to give us a breakdown?
Sure,
on
let's
this song?
break it down. New disaster. Earwax.
That sounded like a backwards breakdown. A build-up?
New disaster was recorded at by my estimation 163 beats per minute in the key of F sharp minor. And here's the thing. The vast majority of this song is 4 chords, and the same 4 chords. Most of what you hear, the verse, what I'm calling the pre-chorus, although it could just be extendy verse shenanigans, and the chorus, all use the same 4 chords. F sharp minor, to D major, to A major, to E major. We'll call those the A changes. And that translates to 1, 6, 3, 7. Which this is perhaps the most popular minor chord progression in like pop music. You might recognize it from The Scientist by Coldplay, or perhaps even more famously Zombie by the Cranberries. A lot of great songs. It's a great progression. 1, 6, 3, 7, a classic. There, I did the meme. Now, so we go, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. It's all the same 4 chords. The bridge. Here's where things get interesting, and we change it up a bit. We have F sharp minor again.
Oh, yeah.
To C sharp major, to A major, to D major, to E major. And then it repeats, but we place the final E major with B major on the second time around, which gives us a nice 4-to-1 resolution back into the verse or A changes. Now, what I like about this, and you can hear this, the bass line during the bridge is descending chromatically for like the first 3 chords. And I always love this kind of arrangement where you have most of the kind of tonality remaining the same, but one element is moving against the staticity, the staticness,
like
the static nature of the other stuff. So it creates this cool like contrast where everything else is, just by changing one note, you completely change the flavor and the tone of the chord, because you can use like inversions, so you can kind of keep everything else the same. So C major is not diatonic to the key of F sharp minor, but I assert that we have not changed modes or keys here. And that the C sharp major is simply a borrowed chord, which allows that nice descending chromatic bass line through the beginning of the bridge. Otherwise, it would be C sharp minor because you'd be playing E natural instead of E sharp, or as rational people would call it, F. But there's something else going on there, because I would also contend, C sharp major is actually something, I call it C sharp major, but it's actually kind of more like an A augmented chord. Because I think personally, and now we're getting into like implied tonality. This is really, I'm super nerding out here musically, because sometimes not all of the notes in a chord are played, right? Especially if you get to something where it's like augmented, if it's playing with like fourths or fifths or changing things like that. Because typically speaking, you get the root note and the third, and that defines the flavor of the chord, whether it's major or minor. Sometimes if you have a seventh or something like that, it can kind of define it as a more jazzy chord. But the most commonly dropped element of a chord, if there is one, is the fifth, because usually the fifth is implied. But when I'm hearing this progression, especially the first three chords in the bridge, I'm hearing that descending line. And if you had C sharp minor, which would be diatonic, then instead you'd be playing E natural instead of E sharp, right? So I really do think that we've got it's more like an A augmented chord. Rather, I think it's an A that's being implied here rather than an A flat, because that would preserve the feeling of motion while the other parts stay the same. I'm essentially hearing C sharp and A natural remaining constant through those first three chords, while the F sharp descends to F natural, or E sharp if you must, and then to E. But that's just me. Ed, we know you listen. Please come on the show and clear this up. Inquiring minds want to know. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. The form intro is A changes, verse 1 is A changes, pre-chorus, or more arguably more verses, A changes, chorus is A changes, verse 2 is A changes, pre-chorus is A changes, chorus is A changes. So we've got A. Now, if you're at all familiar with Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you might think, hey, they died while writing the song. But no, because next we do finally have the bridge. The beat changes to that lovely little chromatic movement. And we go back into the chorus with oh, and then we kind of repeat the chorus. And that's the song. It's like A, B, A. Now, I, in the past, have on occasion been a little harsh with songs that are kind of simplistic, and also in general with latter-day B&L catalog stuff. But the song is in a minor key. It's got that going for it. It's in a well-explored but very solid chord progression that I really do like. And when it does depart it, even if it's briefly, I really like what's going on in the bridge. That is, without a doubt, my favorite part of the song. So I actually like this one quite a bit. I was... I was kind of like on the fence, and then when the bridge kicked in, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I dig it." But that's my breakdown. Betsy, what did you think?
Betsy,
of the
musically,
good. I was just going to ask what Betsy thought of the song musically.
It's called a Canadian impasse when you guys can't decide who's going to go
Sorry,
first.
you go.
Hey, no, you go. No, you go. Yeah. Can I tell you what I think this song reminds me of?
Please.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay.
Please.
It reminds me a lot of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio.
I could actually kind of see that.
Especially the breakdown.
Ticking down, time to turn the ship around. Everybody feeding ya, anti-social media. Fear, disappear. We don't need you back in here. Save the forest, save the whales, throw the CEO in jail.
Yeah. Thematically and just musically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a modern day spin.
But that song
I
also
think.
is very much mostly the same throughout the entire song as far as like what it sounds like, right? Yeah, that's also very true.
Yeah. Well, and that bridge very much sounds like We Didn't Start. I had the same note written, Betsy.
I steal your notes.
Do you have more notes on it musically?
We
We got a new disaster.
No more. No. Most of the rest of it's lyrically. That's what my brain sounds like when it's working. Or not working.
I got 4 pages of notes here, so.
Oh dear!
I was doing it when I was in a fever dream.
Do I have time to go get a cup of coffee?
You're like,
You probably
this is the
do,
end of my only friend. The end.
The end.
I really like the woes on this song.
Yeah.
I have something to say about the woes, but go ahead.
Whoa.
Okay, so
Joey
that
Lawrence,
could fit into
we know
the
you listen.
lyrics as well. But
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
that was all I had written about it. Was I really like them. I think it adds some to the feel of the song, rather than just it makes it more complex. And as we've been mentioning with a lot of the songs on these last 2 albums, it's not highly complex. So it's nice to have that mixed in there. Matter of fact, a lot of the notes that I wrote down really add to the complexity of this song rather than just being very straightforward, like See the Tower.
Yeah.
There's this slow build. Like the song starts off and those woes start off, but they're in the distance.
That's true.
And this slowly approaching and getting closer. And the music and the woes and all of it is just very ominous but upbeat at the same time. So when they said melancholic, I'm like, I'm getting more just like really ominous.
Anxiety.
I was getting building anxiety.
Rising tides, scary
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like
for the Xanax.
throughout that whole first verse, there's building tension, which I like.
Well, you know, if we're going to transition to, because I know that Betsy's probably got a lot to say on the lyrics.
Well, I still have
sorry,
more-
that's right. You had
more
multiple
music.
pages of musical notes.
He's like,
I'm
let me
gonna
finish.
mute. That's how
Let
Canadian
me
I am. I'm going
finish.
to mute.
Oh no.
The guitar riff that Kevin is playing is really catchy and interesting in the background. I really enjoy that.
Hands are shackled, feet are bound. Sinking in the icy waters, seems inevitable our protagonist will drown.
And during the chorus, there's a guitar lick. I'm guessing that it is Kevin, but it could actually be Ed. There's a guitar lick that's playing in the background that it's playing the same notes as Ed is singing, but it also moves away from those notes and then comes back to them, so that it's like this ebb and flow that keeps happening throughout it.
Here comes a new disaster. Here comes the end of days. Next up, the sweet hereafter. We'll tell you all about it after this commercial break. Stay
And like going back to See the Tower, this is what I was talking about. That complexity that makes you want to listen to the song multiple times and doesn't make you want to pull your hair out.
Well, the anxiety might want to make you pull your hair out, but yes.
Yes. Tyler's quick, heavy drums really drive this song. I think that if you took those out and
Yeah, Tyler's on point in the drums
Yeah.
on this one, for sure.
I think those are all the music notes that I have.
I know Betsy has a lot to say about the lyrics. I don't have as much to
Yes.
say, I don't think, as the two of you, so I'll start out real quick just so I can duck out of the way. I really liked, Tracy, we were watching something the other day that reminded me of Bowling for Columbine, the Michael Moore documentary, in which there is an interview with Marilyn Manson where he's talking about television and how, like, the news is always, like, stoking fear, and then you cut to a commercial, and then you try and sell the products. You're stoking the fear of having to live without the product. That is alluded to in the lyrics of this, and I thought that was pretty interesting, as well as very poignant.
That's one of the things I had written down as well, is that these lyrics could have been written 20 years ago
Absolutely.
and still been very connected to what was going on. It could have been written 40 years ago and connected to what was going on. It is more intense today than it was back then, with the fire fear stoking.
That's the boring
But-
dystopia we live in. Everything's the same, it's just worse.
Yeah. But I'm going to let Betsy take it. I have so many notes, and I'm guessing that she's going to say several of the things that I was going to say, and I'll just kind of jump in with her and kind of build on what she's saying.
I don't have so many notes, but I have some notes. I felt compelled to mention, because Aaron, did you know that Elliott Smith also has the same song by the same name?
Wait, so he has a song called New Disaster?
Yeah, he does.
Wow, how did I not know that?
I don't know. I figured I'd bring it up in case you're interested. And there's also a band called I Am the Avalanche that also has a song by the same name. Anyway, not overly relevant.
Well, it's from New Moon. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not as familiar with his last album, the posthumous
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. What? He's dead?
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Not to
I
get all
didn't know.
conspiracy brained, but supposedly stabbed himself in the heart multiple times. I don't know that someone can do that. Anyway,
no,
not trying to,
really,
not trying to
unless you're on drugs.
but he is sadly missed. Elliott Smith's one of my favorite artists.
That's sad.
Please continue.
I shall endeavor to do so. So what you were saying, Tracy, about the opening lyrics from Ed, the OOOs and everything, I think, and probably you've noticed it too, over the years, Ed's voice has changed a little, and it sounds a little more, it's got a different tone to it. And I put it was like distressed but strong. And I mean, cut this out if it's like inappropriate or whatever, but it sounds kind of, I've been to drum circles before. It sounds kind of like a Native American kind of feel to it. So I'm not sure if that's intended for some, I don't know if that, well, and they've had a lot of First Nations issues and everything. So I don't know how intentional that is, or if he's just singing with his normal voice and that's what he's bringing to it.
Good point.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah.
Potentially something there. So lyric wise, I think, and you'll probably notice this too, Tracy, but with all your 4 pages, that the whole hands are shackled, feet are bound, sinking in the icy waters. Houdini did that, correct? Like when he was doing his great escape trick. I think he was in either a pool or some body of cold water where he's shackled. Was it New York?
In a river.
Oh, yeah, it was in a river. Okay. Yeah. So again, kind of sensationalism there around that.
Good point. Oh.
Yeah. Well, that would draw an audience, right? So, I already said the thing about we didn't start the fire.
And building on what you just said, it goes really well. I love the fact that he used the word prestidigitation.
I highlighted
it's a wonderful word.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah,
It's a great word.
And he pronounces it so
Absolutely.
amazingly.
It's prestidigitation.
Yeah. I really appreciated the kind of Shakespearean reference there. All the world's a stage. We're burning them down the theater with everyone inside.
Great analogies that he's using here. This is what I miss from Ed, where he's using great metaphor and simile to tell what he's trying to get across, but he's also not getting away from it and mixing his metaphors.
Right. It's not getting too lost in the weeds. Yeah. I did also kind of note that driving guitar, or that it kind of is like a pulsing kind of, it really keeps you invested in the song. And they are early BNL. It's got the nice building layers. You're really creating a plot and a story and an interest. Let's see. I thought maybe I'm reading too much into this, very potentially so. So when he's saying, stay tuned for scary monsters, watch out for rising tides, but first a word from sponsors. I'm like, oh, is he trying to use Tide as a sponsor? Because he's talking about cleaning up a mess.
I would
everything's tied to everything.
I wouldn't put it past him. I think I like that.
Yeah.
Everything's tied to everything.
Oh yes, see.
Well, and that they did sell If I Had $1 Million and they remade it for Gain.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they did a version of If I Had $1 Million for Gain a while. 20 years ago.
If I had $1 million,
We could put a tiny little fridge in there.
A fridge? What about laundry? You can go into the house to eat anytime you want. I think it's very important in the tree fort to have a stacked washer dryer, plenty of Gain on hand.
That would be fresh and fantastic.
It's important to be fresh. Know what I mean? We heard from some Gain fans about some of the things they wouldn't want to give up. even if they had $1 million.
Come on, like what?
For real. One game fan said she wouldn't want to give up the little things, like rivers, lakes, and the ocean. Apparently the ocean is a little thing now. Another game fan said they wouldn't give up toilet paper.
Come on. If you had $1 million bills, you wouldn't need toilet paper.
And as a segue, another game fan said they wouldn't give up strong coffee and poutine. And poutine is, Kevin, refresh people's memories.
French fries, cheese, and gravy.
That is $1 million combination right there.
Would they say give up just French fries for $500,000?
We should ask them.
We should.
For financial gain.
If I had stains on my collar, if I had stains on my collar,
nice.
I'd use lots of gain.
And maybe a Tide pen or two.
Don't eat them. That's cruel.
To yourself.
I know they look like candy, but they're not. Let's see. The river's dried up. The banks are broke. Riverbanks, banks.
And that
was clever.
That kind of reminded me of the whole the water crisis with Standing Rock and stuff like that too. Now that you mentioned the tribal stuff, so that's very possible.
Potentially,
Probably written around the same time that was happening.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Well, I'm guessing too. If this was this is put out in like 2021, right? Detour. I'm almost wondering. What is it, Tracy?
Yeah, 2020.
2020.
Okay, so
I'm almost wondering if he started this in like 2016.
Right.
Trump
Okay,
got
that's what I
elected,
was thinking.
You know, that's I mean, it would certainly be a catalyst. I think my favorite line is when he's talking about there's still laughter, there's still hope.
Yes!
We gotta pay the hangman, but he doesn't mean to get him on his rope. Yeah.
We gotta pay the hangman, but that don't mean we gotta give him all this rope.
Exactly my favorite line too. Oh my god, I
highlighted.
I love that so much. Yeah, I actually
Still
stopped
my
and
purple
rewound it. I was like, wow, we gotta pay the hangman.
Yeah.
But that don't mean we gotta give him all this rope. It's so good.
Oh, I love that line.
So you have some sort of element of control in this chaos, but
well, yeah,
not
like
a lot,
things are bad, but we don't have to go and make them worse.
Yeah, it's not all for lost. Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things I like about this is that there is a positive message within this song. It's not just him like painting this dire.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Ed really to just kind of leave it hanging and negative. So
That would be Steve.
I love you, Steve.
Please come on the show. We know you listen.
We'll see you in 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna just of note was kind of like what you're saying with the bridge, the midnight ticking down. It really has provides like a really nice like energy ramp up. Like the whole song's really engaging, but that bridge, if that's the bridge, it kind of tied things together, but also just really kind of took off there. So that's all I've kind of got to say. That was what I wrote down, and at least so.
Oh, I also like.
But I might.
Sorry, go ahead.
Tag onto your. I said I might tag onto your guys as if if the mood strikes.
I also just wanted to add. I mean, I love the Hangman line is my favorite, but I also liked everybody feeding your anti-social media.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Truth Social. Sorry, that was
not a sponsor.
I should. No.
What is it? Truth Social?
Oh, let's not go there.
Okay.
That's a topic for another
We're gonna
time.
detour that force.
With
yes, thank
with
you.
a quickness.
Yes. Yeah. One of the lines I really love on top of that Hangman line, which I had written down and I had to cross off. I really like the way that he says they're killing it at retail.
Devil's in the details. They're killing it at retail.
Like he stops, he's speaking it, but he's also saying it with so much emotion and so much emphasis, so much happiness. like it's a great thing, and he's trying to sell it. It's that selling thing again. That and it really works. It pulls your attention to it, and it kind of drives home the whole point that he's making, which, fear sparks buying. I mean, he makes it mention of it too in the chorus with the, but hold on, we got to get to our sponsors, which is what this is really about before we come back to the stories again. These stories aren't meant to drive people and bring information to people. It's meant to sell.
If I can
and keep people watching to sell more.
If I can broach a potentially controversial topic, and we can edit this out if it's too extreme, but maybe I'm just dreaming this, but I seem to recall shortly after 9/11 there was a company that made portable parachute backpacks, because they're like, well, if you have to jump out of out of a building, I'm like, wow, man, I'm not sure that you're. I mean, I guess if it's a tall enough jump, but even then, that's just it was such a cynical.
That's so gross.
Yeah, it seems so disgusting to me, and it just kind of reminded me of there's plenty of room on the lifeboat. Like when you think of lifeboats, you think of like the Titanic and running out of room, and not having enough room. So
floating on a door.
I'll never let go. Exactly. Okay, I'll let go.
I'll let go a little.
And one of
I got better.
Glug, glug, glug,
Jack
glug.
didn't, but Rose did. One of the things that I lost my so one of the things that's in the video that goes with that line, and they really the video does a great job of emphasizing the point of this song, is at the moment that he says they're killing it at retail, it shows Black Friday and a Black Friday event, which, I mean, when it comes down to fear trying to spark buying, there is nothing that better portrays that whole idea than Black
Parents
Friday.
trampling each other for Cabbage Patch Kids and Beanie Babies.
Yes.
Or Turbo Man. Wasn't that from Jingle All the Way? It was Arnold.
It was.
And Sinbad.
We don't talk about
Actually,
that movie.
I've come around. I've done a 180 on Jingle All the Way. I mean, it is cheesy. It's really kind of silly, but I kind of love it. Actually, it's like Phil Hartman. It's great. I don't know. It's dumb, but it's enjoyable. Arnold, we know you listen. Come on the show.
Arnold.
And Sinbad.
Get on the podcast.
I do not approve.
There's a crisis.
Pretty good.
Get to the lifeboat.
I do want to point out that Kevin Griffin is the broadcaster that's in the background.
I tried to make out what he was
Okay,
saying.
okay.
I tried it at half speed, 3/4 speed. It was just gibberish.
Yeah, it's blended in the background.
It's really
well,
blended.
but,
yeah.
And Hugh Marsh is on the violin. I should have mentioned that earlier with the
Nice.
music. I
Nice.
lost my spell on that.
Yeah, the instrumentation on this was just really very clean, very good.
And I love that rap breakdown in the middle. This is probably one of Ed's better rap breakdowns.
So
I would say better than one.
you would say even better than Another Postcard, Tracy? I know you love that song.
Wow. Shots
Poking
fired.
the bear.
Oh
Poking
my
the
gosh.
Pew, 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 pew.
Holy
Poke, poke,
cow.
poke.
But at least this one is on target. Like, he sticks to the message he's
Yeah,
trying
it's very
to give.
focused.
It is.
Yeah.
Laser focused. Pew, pew, pew.
And the strong words mixed with the ominous music just really, it gives that feel of railing against like what the song is really about. It builds that energy inside of you. It's not great energy, but it's, at the same time they're doing it with such positivity that you have that great juxtaposition that I miss with BNL.
Yeah, this kind of reminded me of older BNL, I think, a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
I do want to point out the line. Also, I like the midnight ticking down because that's talking about the nuclear clock and how close we are to doomsday. The doomsday clock, I should
Which,
say.
by the way, we're still incredibly close to midnight. Everyone thinks it was like worse in the Cold War. I think it's actually worse now than it was back then.
Well, so here's my problem with the Doomsday Clock. It has never moved backwards.
Yeah, because it's only gotten worse because we
And it's-
only had more. Like, we had a slight reduction with, like, the SALT and the START treaties and stuff like that, or the talks. But, like, then it just kind of got like, you know what? Never mind. We're just we're just gonna keep making new. You know, there's been no real broad attempt at, like, nuclear de-escalation for a long time, and there's just so many weapons, like, just sitting around in warehouses with people who are like,
Russia alone has 2,000 nuclear weapons.
yeah, I mean,
We have 200.
do we really only have 200? I feel
Well, okay, reportedly,
only. I mean,
we
like, I'm
only
sure
have
those are
200.
enough to destroy all life on Earth. I'm sure. So,
Well, exactly.
with the fallout and the
Exactly.
nuclear winter and all that fun stuff, cockroaches will inherit the Earth. Cockroaches, we know you listen. Come on the show.
They already have been on. You just haven't noticed them. We are currently at 90 seconds to midnight.
Yeah, minute and a half.
But I mean, it is slowly inching that way, but that again is another sign of, like, it becomes a big, huge thing on the news when this happened back at the beginning of this year. It once again, a focus that we don't necessarily need. It's driving fear.
Well, that's David Cross in his stand-up made a kind of a statement about that in the War on Terror post 9/11 era, when they were talking about, like, you know, putting plastic sheeting and duct tape over your doors and windows to prevent, I guess, like, chemical attacks or something. You know, just like, you know, is that gonna? If you were able to hermetically seal your house well enough, wouldn't you suffocate or die of? Unless you had, like, CO2 scrubbers.
What they don't realize is all houses breathe.
Right.
They are designed
Yeah.
literally
That's
to
just
breathe.
kinda- yeah,
'cause
otherwise you'd
you would die.
Carbon dioxide poisoning.
You cannot hermetically seal a house without dying.
Well, what are we gonna rate this?
Oh, wait, whoa. Whoa, man.
He's just getting warmed
God,
up.
I'm not done my notes
All
yet.
right, well,
Oh.
then
I do want to point out the different versions of this, and we didn't talk about the video, and I want to make sure that we do talk about the video. That was directed and animated by Enos Sisek and Tony Humi. Names that are very hard to pronounce. Thanks a lot, guys. Like they had control of that.
Thanks for being named the way you're being named. How rude.
The video is very ominous as well. I love the comic book feel of it.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I'm sure it's programmatic somehow. It's just very, I don't know. I guess a comic is a product. And so,
Well, and if you think about it, like what is it about a comic? Well, comics are constantly on the edge of disaster. Like every single
Oh
Batman
my
is always
God.
fighting.
Well, it also
these
could be an escape,
situations
too.
Oh my
that is
God.
a fantasy.
about constant.
Oh, hold on, Aaron's having a
End of
revelation.
time. Yeah.
Moderate to major
I
revelation.
had not watched the video, and I just put it on mute. And it's not just a comic. This is specifically referencing Watchmen, which specifically deals with the Doomsday Clock.
You're right.
This is in the style of Alan Moore's Watchmen, for sure.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Which again, like it's about the end of times and constantly building that fear of the
This
end
video
of
is so
times.
cool. Damn, I kind of love this
so
song.
cool. I know.
Oh, I would say that this is one of the best lyrical videos I've ever seen.
Period.
Like, because it,
Barenaked
period.
Ladies or not? Or
even
otherwise?
including Weird Al's, and I think Weird Al's lyric video is
Yeah.
Word crimes.
War crimes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Al, we know you listen. Come on the show.
like one of the best. Word Crimes is one of the best of all time.
Yeah. Dangling participles.
So yes, better than Word Crimes. I'm setting you up, Betsy. Don't leave us dangling.
No,
Like a dangling participle.
I can't just. It's gotta be organic.
Don't leave us hanging.
Like a dangling participle. Don't cut me off, so I'm a truncated participle.
But no, I think in terms of lyrical videos, like I get why people do them. I don't like them. This I love because not only do we have the lyrics going across the screen, whether it's in ticker tape or in the comic book, in the thought bubbles or in the word bubbles, but we also have a story that is going on in this video, and it's entertaining. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I have nothing to add. No notes.
Your words are coming
so
from
if
my
people-
heart, sir.
If people haven't seen this, it starts off with a family staring at the TV screen and just being enveloped. Also at a phone, but you can tell that they're all kind of watching media. And the TV has cables of light that are coming out of it from the screen and wrapping them in and shackling them. And it's interesting because at first the newscaster looks tired and almost hypnotized himself, but then he becomes the hypnotizer, and he becomes they then portray him as a hype man in a circus collar. It's it's very Dr. Terminus from Pete's Dragon is what I wrote down. And then the first time that BNL shows up in the video is when the girl blinks. So I love that's what's starting to break her and the family out of their stupor. And, the newscaster becomes this puppet pulling, the newscaster goes from being the hype man to becoming a puppet that's just kind of pulling the fake news card, and it's just got all these great background things that are going. You can watch it a whole bunch of times.
And like their carpet looks like a microchip. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the band breaks the spell. Like, the great thing is there's this positive story that comes out of it of, like, we don't have to be trapped by this. Like with the song saying, like, if we pay attention, we can get in on the joke. That's
Also,
it's like he took that line and he's like, I'm going to make the video around that
now
line.
that I have seen this, and it might not be like entirely because they have kind of like the Batman Archie text font at sometimes.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that family in the blue light and like the specific panels sometimes it look very much like a Watchmen reference. And of course, the comedian in Watchmen is like, it's a joke. It's all the joke. It's kind of like talking about like that side of nihilism. So it's like we have a choice here. We can slide into the easy chair of nihilism, or we can get up and do something. Even if we don't feel like we're powerless, we feel like we're powerless or whatnot, but we can still do something, and we probably should.
And Watchmen is amazing. If people have not seen or read the original comic, especially, go and read the original comic. It is amazing.
Agreed.
And the fact that the most powerful man on Earth becomes powerless is wow.
Did you see, like, about a minute and a half in the newscaster, did you see how they kind of, like, chopped his head horizontally? Almost like South Park with the Canadians. It's very, like...
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's, like, a slight
We can
Canadian
all
reference.
unhinge
I
our
thought it
heads
was-
like that.
Yeah,
secret.
no, it was,
Well-
like, completely, like,
That's why I had it down as a puppet, that he becomes a puppet, and that he is...
puppet, but, like, that's definitely South Parky to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
I agree.
would be cool.
I like that reference, too.
Very, very well thought out. And yeah, I mean, this is just what I come to BNL for. So all the layers and all the good details and all that nice stuff.
That's exactly the thing. Like, this made me... And this is what... Like, people liked Flip. When this came out, I liked this song much more than any other song on this album.
For sure. Me too.
People are like, oh, New Disaster is okay. I'm like, no, New Disaster is amazing.
Yes, it's a really good song.
So we probably should rate this. I do want to point out that there was a selfie cam jam.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if they actually played the instruments though, because it really kind of feels as though they had the music and they were. No, it looks like they're playing,
Doing the
but it's so
Top of the Pops
incredibly
Nirvana.
close.
waving their hand in front of the screen.
Yep.
It's so incredibly close to the recording, especially with all the other background instruments. I'm like, oh, maybe they added them in and they did it and they wanted, because this was like months into the COVID. So maybe they figured out, okay, well, this is how we can redo it and make it live and still make it work. But it does sound like they're just kind of playing it and then leaving the original soundtrack on.
It could.
And if it's not, then kudos to you guys for staying so incredibly close.
Yeah, I'm not sure. No, it would have been. Yeah, no, yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I would assume just due to the timeline, that couldn't have been footage of them actually recording it independently. That would probably be something that was recorded well after the studio album was released.
Yes. So what should we rank this?
Ooh, that's a good question.
How many prestidigitations? That's kind of a half joking, but let's see.
I mean, it is one of my favorite words in this song.
How many minutes to midnight?
Yeah. Doomsday Machine.
Wait, that means we're going to be going.
Yeah, isn't
5
that
or
bad?
under.
Yeah, like
Yay!
I guess 5 is further away from midnight, so that's good. It's better than 1.
True. All right, I will go with it for that reason alone.
A little ray of hope. Yeah.
How many minutes to midnight? All right. Well, since you came up with the ranking system, why don't we have you start us off?
Well,
You're being
yeah.
punished.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I've been overly kind to some of the songs we've done recently, because I'm just like, any breath of fresh air has been kind of like, when I come across a new one that I kind of like, I'm like,
bar's been
oh
lowered.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I might have like a kind of a cynical New Year's this year, Tracy. Where normally I've been like, "Oh, I've come around on this song. I like it better." I might actually be like, "I'm going to lower this one slightly come New Year's," but this one I will not. And man, I gotta tell you, like. That's why I'm saying, like, because my initial impulse was to rate it like a 4.2, but I gave the Peace Lady a 4.2, and I like that song, but this song is way better. So I don't know. I'll probably both raise my initial score for this one and post hoc lower Peace Lady a little, just a little. It might go down to like a 4. It's probably staying on the list. It's hanging on, but. Yeah, I mean, I really like this song. It does remind me of like the older BNL days. This feels like a song Ed would have written, and maybe Steve would have like had some input into. So I don't know if that's maybe the writing partner. You know, that's part of what that's like. Kind of someone else having some input, someone to bounce ideas off of and develop them. I don't know what it is, but I like the song. It's minor. It's got that really cool descending section in the bridge. It's a head nodder, toe tapper, in addition to having some really great lyrical content. It's kind of got the whole package. I think I have to rate it 4.4 minutes to midnight.
Okay. What about you, Betsy?
Well, my coworkers were probably concerned about me today because I was literally playing it all morning on repeat.
Betsy,
I was in and out, but I was just,
checking in.
You all right? Yeah, just feeling a little apocalypsy, that's all. No, but this song is a jam. It's, it's got all the great qualities that I look for in BNL. It's like, it's a toe tapper. Like, I'm constantly like either fidgeting or moving my head when I'm listening to this, because it's like I never lose interest in it. I'm always waiting for the next lyric. So it's very clever. It's very well instrumented. I love Ed's voice on this. Everything about it's great. So I'm giving it a 4.8.
Ooh, nice.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh my god, I cannot type tonight. All right, there we go.
Oh, Tracy,
and-
don't make me drink the haterade on this one. I love this song.
I just scored her.
You might have to raise your score then.
Glug, glug, glug.
So last week we were talking about how Ed wrote one night, and it was like, this is a banger. No, Ed, this is a banger.
For
Yeah.
sure.
This
This
is
has
what
got
I
some
miss.
nuts.
This is what I want on that new album.
Yeah,
We don't
actually, I
get
was
it.
thinking that,
No.
Tracy, when you were talking, like, if they released a whole album with songs of this caliber, I would be ecstatic. You know, I'd be like, damn,
Yes.
damn, excellent work. I would be so happy.
Ed, you have me back. Boom. I really like this song, and I wish that there was more of this. And when they played this in concert, I love it. This is a 4.5 to me. This is really, really good.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say it's Haterade Light, and it's been heavily watered down. And I don't know.
Is it really
It's
haterade if we're
Loverade.
still in
Come
the
on,
fours,
it's on the
though?
playlist.
I
You
mean,
made the
yeah, we're
playlist.
still in the fours.
We're
all friends here in the fours.
I would say that this song is not a new disaster. It's like a national park.
It's a new triumph. Yeah, I'm making a note here. Huge success.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's right. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction on this one. Did you miss Tracy's beautiful segue?
Oh my
did.
God! I didn't even well, I didn't know the next song was the national park until you pointed that out to me. I should have picked up on it because it was a little out of nowhere. But yeah, no. Okay.
Park?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, if
curious.
I made it that seamless that you didn't realize it, I'll take it.
I was so excited about the puns we were making. You know.
They were good
too.
puns, and I look forward to like editing them so everyone can hear them. And
Yeah, I apologize. Also, my audio is like blasted. I'm looking at. I hope I'm not like peeking all over the place, but
I'm gonna have so much fun with this.
Peeking or peeing? You're
hopefully
peeing all over the place.
peeking. Yeah, hopefully my audio is usable.
I mean, that's why we will not be showing the video of this episode.
Sorry, Aaron was peeing all over the place.
Listen, sometimes you get excited by a song and you just gotta peek. You gotta peek your audio all over the
The
place.
coffee you hit,
Have a little peek party.
well hydrated.
Well, thank you guys very much for joining me. This song has reinvigorated me. Hopefully, it will get me through to the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Good vibes. It's like a breath of fresh air. Yeah.
It's like a refreshing, fruity,
A
carbonated
breath of fresh
drink.
air. You know where you get those, right?
In
a
the national park,
park.
man. National park. National
See?
park.
I can do a couple of these.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
I'm gonna go to the Grand Tetons.
Oh, well, have a great week, you guys.
Yeah, have a great night. Good talking to y'all, and see you next week.